All right. Let's Paint TV hanging out with you here once again. Missed you guys yesterday. I was out painting. But I'm back. Back in. Because I'm back in black. Back. Something. I don't know. Back in. ACDC? Isn't that ACDC song? I don't know. I don't know what it is. Okay. Well, obviously a lot has happened. And the painting I was working on is not finished. But there's something happens with the oil paints where the oil paint seems to, after a couple of days, when you work with the oil paint, after a couple of days, it starts to skin up the is that the right word? Anyway, so it's not as fluid, the painting process, and you're like fighting it too much. And so because it's already in the process of drying, so I find that usually after 2 days of working on the same painting, the way I work, I gotta just let it, maybe give it a break. Plus, I lose interest in a painting in terms of my commitment. So we're just kind of letting that rest, kind of like pulling a steak off the grill and let it rest for 10 minutes, kind of thing. Let it rest. Maybe reconsider. Anyway, we're just gonna, and then it'll dry, and that's a whole nother problem. That's a whole nother can of worms. It's so hot too right now, 86 degrees. By the way, I went to the beach yesterday. Oh man, that was so good. But it took forever to get there, kind of thing, you know. It's like I kind of wish I was closer to the beach. I do. I don't necessarily want to be at the beach. And then when it's all foggy and stuff, I don't know. It's not that great. But on a hot day, it's nice to be there. So nice to go in the water. All right, humidity's 30%, whatever that means, inside the house. And that's it. Okay, so having said that, I have a canvas here that I'm gonna work on. It's and I know I'm not the only one that's going to be painting or illustrating this idea of what happened, but from the January 6th hearings, the story of Trump commanding the steering wheel and then choking the other guy. So I just have that in my head, and I thought maybe I'd try to paint it just real quick. It's a small little canvas. I think I can get the idea across pretty quickly here if I get my wits together, if I get my act together. And that's always been my hardest thing to do, is in the studio. I'm not as productive in the studio as I am outside for some reason. Okay, just my own. It's almost like what do they call that? We used to call these, whatever. Doesn't matter what we call them. A blog, personal blog. About some Coors Light. Working on some Coors Light, by the way. I had the Bud Light going. They were all right. But I always go back to the Coors Light. I gotta say, when I sample the various light beers that are out there, I find that the Coors Light has a nice, simplistic, crisp, refreshing taste to it. Um, I haven't really tested. I haven't done a lot of testing, frankly. But I discovered, and I need to verify this, but I think this is the case. I was watching a video on the Budweiser plant that here in Los Angeles, and it used to have a gardens, Busch Gardens. And anyway, the documentary ended the video, and they ended up getting rid of the gardens for Bud Light to make way for manufacturing Bud Light. Anyway, but they went on to show that this factory, this Budweiser brewery, makes like over 80 different beers, and it showed all these beers. And I was surprised, and it was like a real quick thing here, but it was like Modelo, Stella Artois. Yeah, I hate bananas. I'm doing okay, I think. I never know. I mean, I am, and then I always second guess it if I'm doing okay. But for all intents and purposes, I'm doing okay. So what I'm wondering, and I need to double check, and maybe you could just Google it, which I was meaning to do, is ask the question: is Modelo, is Stella Artois? I can't pronounce that right, by the way. Are those beers made at the Budweiser brewery in Los Angeles? Because I just saw something that kind of referenced that. So maybe someone could look that up real fast. You like Miller Lite, says Franklin. I bought some Miller Lite, and it was okay. I think this has an extra special bubbly quality to it, the Coors Light. By the way, I think Coors and Miller are run by the same company, and they also make Molson, which makes beers. They're Canadian. But again, are they making Molson beer? They don't. They mustn't make. They probably don't make that many of beers. So there's also a brewery here by Pasadena, a Miller brewery. They have a big sign that says Miller. It's a gigantic sign, Miller, but now it's also Coors. So Banana says, Wiki says Stella is made by Anheuser. Doesn't say where. So there you go. So I think that verifies, and we could look into it more. But we have the idea that it's a misconception, isn't it, to think that Modelo and Stella Artois are actually these beers that they import from Mexico and somewhere in Europe. I don't know where that beer is supposed to be made from, and it looks like that's not the case. Though they probably make the beer in such a way that it's sort of the same ingredients and the same procedure, but it's all made locally because I think there's a big problem ultimately with the transportation of beer, the freshness of beer. So let's look into that, guys. If we can, look into that. While I enjoy the extra bubbliness of this Coors Light, which I must say does have some extra bubblies. In fact, Budweiser, they had a beer that I bought, and they said it was Mexican beer. They proudly said that this was their version of a Mexican beer, basically. And I don't think I see that there anymore. It's not being distributed. It's not being sold because I don't think anyone was buying. No one wanted to buy, Budweiser made Mexican beer under some uh, unknown name. And so, but you will, and we do, and we are buying Mexican beer made at the Budweiser beer plant here in Los Angeles. It looks like that's the case, because again, the if you are importing the beer from Mexico, which is really not too far away, uh, obviously, but there's probably import export issues, transportation, through one country to another, and I wonder about Tecate, because that's a city in Mexico that's on the Mexican border, Mexican U.S. border. I don't know if it's on it, but I think it's close, I believe. Does anyone know? Here we're talking about beer. Like I said, I feel like I should just have a beer show, just talking about beer. But I'm no expert. That's the problem. But that's probably why it would be a good show, because I really don't know what I'm talking about. And then we could have experts come in and talk about it. You're in bourbon country. Bourbon is amazing. They sell the corn left over to farmers and barrels to the beer makers to store beer in for the flavoring. Well, Anheuser-Busch claims, and I don't know how accurate it is anymore, but they had claimed that they're the only beer manufacturer of their capacity. I don't know how they said it, but they had the whole thing about having their beer made in the beechwood aged barrels, which is maybe what you're referring to. But if I'm wrong, or if I'm right in my assumption that Modelo is actually made here in Los Angeles at the Budweiser plant, and it's not imported, I believe that is... Oh, and Corona. Corona also is one of the beers. And so to think that... I think people are, when they buy Corona beer and when they buy Modelo beer, they are thinking, yeah, this beer is straight from Mexico, and no. It was made here in the city of the Angels. Do I look like Hank from Breaking Bad, says Ringo. Who's Hank now? Which one is Hank? I don't think I look like anybody in Breaking Bad, do I? Is he the main guy? Brian, what's his name? Brian, isn't his first name Brian, the actor? He was also in Malcolm in the Middle, I believe. Is that no Hank? You're talking about Hank, the guy that is the the police officer guy that is the brother-in-law. Is that what you're saying? I don't know. What are you saying? Okay, I keep talking. I won't get to my painting here, but it's I'm having too much fun talking to you guys. Brother-in-law, yeah. The DEA agent that is like almost figuring it out, but just quite never does. I don't. I think it sort of at some point he does figure it out. No, he never officially knows for certain. Yeah, I guess I kind of do look like Hank, don't I? Yeah, I'm a little too pudgy and bald, obviously, to look like Bryan Cranston. But I'm probably of the same. Maybe if I was a little more skinny and wiry and had some hair on my head. MITM. Wow, I never seen the abbreviation MITM. Malcolm in the Middle. You know, you know what? Speaking of that, or speaking of weird shows, or shows that maybe have young uh, kids involved, or the kid is sort of the main star. What's the show? It's a Young Sheldon. I just saw that the other night. It's on TBS. I don't know. I think that might be on reruns or something. And I heard of the name of the show and I never seen it, and then I saw it, and then I realized that it's the young Sheldon who is the young kid that ultimately becomes the guy in the other show that I never watched either, um, which you guys probably know what I'm talking about. I think he's autistic, possibly, but they're geniuses. They're all geniuses. Uh, but I don't know the name of that show. Anyways, do you know what I'm talking about? Anyway, there's only 4 people watching, so the chance of anyone knowing what I'm talking about are slim to none. But you guys seem to be pretty uh, quick on the draw. What's some of your favorite series of all time? Jennifer, what are you rambling about? Well, I went from Malcolm in the Middle. Well, we actually went from which is it's not a stretch. We went from Breaking Bad to Malcolm in the Middle because of Bryan Cranston, and then I instantly thought of Young Sheldon, which I just saw for the first time, and that guy is sort of like a prequel to the this other show that was supposedly the #1 comedy. CBS called it the #1 comedy, and it was a show I never watched, or I tried to watch it, but I guess it's because of my age. I didn't identify, and I didn't find anything funny about it, or at least I never got into it, so I never watched it, and so because of that, no. This is another show that's not on anymore. It was on CBS. They claimed that it was the #1 comedy. Big Bang Theory. Thank you, Ringo. I knew someone would finally get to it. So Young Sheldon is the prequel to Big Bang Theory. So I thought that was kind of interesting. It's actually an interesting premise, and I kind of enjoyed it for a moment, and then moved on. I didn't watch anymore. You don't think that's any good, yeah? Well, I don't think it lasted very long. I think it was on TBS, which I'm pretty sure that's a rerun situation. Did you guys like Big Bang Theory? Like I said, I couldn't even barely glance at it. I just didn't interest me at all. And I think it's just an age thing. It has to be an age thing, you know. It's like I'm just becoming an old fart. I'm one of them. What is that? When people say you're just a boomer. You're a boomer, man. I'm a little getting tired of looking at stuff on the internet, you know, socials, you know, particularly Twitter and all this bickering that goes on there. There's a lot of bickering. Anyway, I'm sure I would be identified as I guess a boomer. You love me? Okay. Well, I guess I love you too. Old fart theory. Yeah, 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 Franklin. Let's get another one called Old Fart Theory. Oh, Ontario. You guys love me? I love Ontario too. I do. I've never been there in the wintertime, but I've been there a number of times. Toronto, and in particular, I've been to this festival twice, and it's called Electric Eclectic up in Meaford. And they're going to have it again this month or the end of this month. Well, no. It's June, so it's not quite July, but it's going to be, I think, at the end of July. I don't know when. It's called Electric Eclectic in Meaford, right there in the Georgian Bay. And I've been there twice in the summer. You know, it's beautiful, beautiful land, beautiful country. I couldn't imagine those places in winter, though. No way. Watch House MD. Who's in that? Is that the guy from? No, who is in? I don't know. Never heard of that. I don't think I've heard of that show. Oh, someone asked me what are my favorite shows, and I never answered. Oh man, favorite like sitcoms and stuff. Gosh. Lately, I've been watching a lot of Mayberry RFD. And that's just kind of like some old ass stuff that was done before I was even born. So, and of course, Seinfeld was good. I like Seinfeld. Hugh Laurie. Okay, for some reason I thought Hugh Laurie, wasn't he in a show called Bones? I forget. I thought he was in a show called Bones. I remember watching Cheers. I kind of liked that at the time. I actually saw I was like in the audience for one of the episodes when they do the live film before a live audience. I was in the audience once for Kids in the Hall. Maybe not so much. I don't know why. I never got into it. Saturday Night Live, I've always liked that. Though, again, I think it's hit or miss with those shows. Kids in the Hall and Saturday Night Live. It's hit or miss in terms of the skit that they have. And so if there's a run of bad skits and sketches, then you just go, yeah. And then, they have different people. Well, I guess Kids in the Hall, it's the same group, I guess. I never really watched it too much. So, if you can make them cheaper so I can afford them. Hey, by the way, I have a 15% off sale in my Etsy store. Dudes in dresses, I'm in, says another oak. What's the Mighty Python Flying Circus? I didn't really get into it ever, but occasionally I will see it and enjoy the the awesomeness of it all, But I never really got into it enough. But I guess I understand the beauty of it and the amazing aspects of it. Can you? If I guess you want to serenade me. I was supposed to do this painting. I wanted to work on this painting, which I could. I can still do it. I mean, SCTV, Second City TV, yeah, or Mad TV was good too. I liked Mad TV. For a second there, they were like, they were competitive with SNL for a moment. Another show that was good like that was what was that show? Ah, damn. Jamie Foxx was in it, and the Wayans brothers were in it. Ringo says paint. What was the name of that show? It was kind of like Mad TV, basically. And then they had dancers, and I think wasn't Paula Abdul in that? Wasn't she one of the dancers? I'm not certain about all. I'm not big on my. I'm never an expert on anything. I'm just a generalist of thought and recovery of my memory. In living color. Thank you, Franklin. Yes, in living color. And Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey was in that. And he did some most outlandish, crazy stuff like the fire inspector, which I don't know if I really like that, but anyway, yeah, a lot of good stuff. There's a lot of good stuff that can come out. There's generally speaking, creativity and television is a creative form, or film, obviously, but because of the money that's involved, it is sometimes really difficult to actually provide anything that's actually any good, because there's so many people checking off, there's so much money involved, and so there's different levels of people verifying and then accepting if something's going to work, and then particularly when there's stuff that's not proven, then they really don't want to even take a chance. So you're better off going with something that has already been proven, and even though it's a copy or a similar facsimile of what has already been successful. That's always the case. But there's always a fun wrinkle that shows up. There's always something inventive, because of the creative process that happens. Something happens. Another show that was big, it was the Tracy Ullman show, because it had skits, and it even had the Simpsons, little videos of the Simpsons. I don't know if I cared for it that much, but it was I would watch it, but I don't think I could watch it again. That's for sure. You gonna buy my shirt? Fantastic. Ringo. 15% off. All right, let me see if I can get some painting going on here. So I'm going to try to recreate the the January 6th moment when Trump tried to grab the steering wheel and at the same time choke his Secret Service agent, but at the same time. So called. It's not. No, there's a lot of denying, and so apparently no one wants to say it's really the case, but they have not been willing to go under oath to say it's not the case. So you take it for a grain of salt if it's true or not. But someone did. Someone did go under oath. That going under oath is a big deal, isn't it? That's a big deal, isn't it? Going under oath. Lot of talk, but then they won't go under oath. That oath thing is whoa. You know, speaking of oath, like there's that group called the Oath Keepers. Will the Oath Keepers take the oath? Will they go under oath? You know, will they? Wait, I'm getting confused. All right. We take the oath. Will the oath keepers take the oath? Whatever. Okay. I don't think there's much there. Anyway, so I think I'm gonna, you know what I'm gonna do? I was gonna get another beer. How about that? It's it feels like, doesn't it feel like it's 4th of July weekend already? I feel like it's already here. I feel like it. It's definitely summer. And it is the end of the week. And so it's going to be a long weekend, guys, even though it's only Thursday. Let me get another beer. All right, it's 86 degrees here in the studio. So yeah, okay, that's an interesting fact. Yeah, my oh, interesting. So this is what's happened. Check that out. Look. Oh my God. You are right. Look at that. Okay, so this is the empty beer, and that's the full beer that I just pulled out of the refrigerator. And that beer is cold. It's all blue. Oh, let's take a call here. They got the secret phone number. Hello, caller. Who's this?
Hi, John. So my friends are all busy today, and I was wondering if you'd like to watch the new ASMR Power of Sound video with me.
I'm not familiar with that. It doesn't sound very interesting.
Jones Blackman.
Yeah. Who's that?
Have you heard of him?
Joe Waxman?
Jones Blackman. He's the son of George Costanza.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's cool. So this is the son of George Costanza from Seinfeld.
Yep.
Well, what's he do? He just does ASMR, and he just kind of mumbles.
Yes, but he's not very good at it.
Well, is that part of is that the shtick? Is that the shtick?
No, he thinks he's good at it. He's
he thinks
not very good at it.
But the conviction is sometimes important. You know, sometimes it's better.
Yeah, he's very dedicated to his craft.
Yeah, it's better. It's better that you think that you're good at some things a lot of times than otherwise. If you realize you're really bad and then you still go, and then that's questionable. Like, yeah, you're just, you're trying to pull legs and stuff. No, you need to have conviction. So it sounds like a really good show.
Oh yeah, I have a great deal of respect for Mr. Blackman.
So how come he doesn't go with Costanza for his last name?
No one knows that.
Oh, I see. Well, George Costanza's the actor's name is what? It's not Blackman.
It's
It's
Jason Alexander.
Jason Alexander. So the son goes with a different name.
Yeah, he does. He goes by Jones Blackman. And
Well,
then
is he
Jones
successful with
Blackman
this?
has a
Is
son
he
named
successful?
Henry.
Is this a successful operation or what?
I'd say it's so-so.
Well, I mean, like, does he have more than 7 people watching the show like me?
His videos get a few thousand views.
Oh, then he's doing a lot
Yeah.
better than me.
Yeah, he's doing all right.
All right.
But he
Well,
actually
good
has
for
a
him.
son who's a friend of mine.
So he has a son.
Yeah, so George Costanza is the grandfather of Henry Blackman.
Oh, wow. And so,
Yeah, there's a lot of lore here.
wow.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, I'm really confused. But anyway, so when is this show on? Is it on now?
Well, it's not a live show. It's a video on YouTube that he releases once
Okay.
every other week.
Oh, I see. And what is he? He just
Yeah.
kind of does
Oh,
ASMR.
he does. He does ASMR. Like in this one, he's a barber, so he's giving you a haircut while talking in ASMR.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, I respect the guy. He loves what he does.
That sounds great. I love it.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
So that's your buddy.
No, his son is my buddy,
Oh,
Henry Blackman.
all right. So Henry, what does Henry do?
He hangs out with the Groypers.
With the who?
With the Groypers.
The Gripers? What's that?
Yeah. You know, like Raider Dave, Amogus Groyper, those guys.
Nah, I don't know. I'm like,
Have
you
you
know,
heard of
I'm close to
like
being a
erectile
grandpa
dysfunction
here now.
disorder?
You know, this is like way over my head.
What?
No, I mean it's just.
Oh yeah, this all goes really deep.
Okay.
There's a lot of lore surrounding this. But you know Bernard, right?
Bernard Shaw.
No, Bernard. Burnurd.
Well, I know Bernard. He was my buddy I went to college with. Bernard Nation.
How about Chet? You know Chet?
Chet. Sounds like a jazz magician.
No, it's Chet Richardson.
Chet Richardson. And what does Chet
Yeah.
do? What does Chet do?
He's 10.
He's 10 years old.
Yeah,
well,
he
does something.
Or he had a Twitter account called Red Ball Sack Politics because he has testicular cancer.
Oh, man. And he's 10 years old?
He's a loser, though. Yeah.
You can't be a
Brad
loser when
Rosen
you're
over
10 years old.
tractor.
Come on, man. You're 10 years old. You give him a few more years before you call him a loser.
Well, yeah, that's fair.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then there's Kevin. Kevin, we don't like Kevin. He's a bad dude.
Kevin.
Klaus Groyper.
Klaus Diaper.
Klaus Groyper.
Klaus. Nah, I'm not familiar with this stuff.
Oh, he's an interesting character. He gets upset pretty easily, though. He hates Craig.
Yeah, I like it's kind of fun when people get upset, though. It's kind of fun, right? To see people get upset.
Yeah.
It's like
And then there's Brad. He's
Brad.
He's a bad guy, Brad. I love Brad, but I also don't like him.
Okay, so you love him, and then you don't like him. Kind of like sweet and
Yeah,
sour
I don't know
sauce.
how to feel about Brad.
It's like sweet
Yeah,
and sour
he works
sauce.
at an antique shop in Anchorage.
Anchorage.
Yeah. He lives in Detroit, but he has a farm in the Bronx and an antique shop where he works for his cousin Craig.
In Anchorage, how does he commutes, or he just does it by phone or something? He phones it in.
He takes his tractor.
Okay, so he goes across the continental United States and then up through Canada into Alaska on a tractor.
Yep, on his tractor.
Fantastic. That sounds like ice truckers kind of thing. Get the guy that produces that show to produce
Yeah.
this.
Brad has been on there a few times.
That sounds great.
Then there's Derek.
Okay. Well, I don't think we're gonna spend time hearing all your friends, but they sound like a great group of buddies and friendships that you're gonna have for the rest of your life, and so count on that being the case. And
Yeah, these guys are good
I'm gonna
people.
have to say goodbye, and we're gonna get on with our painting.
All right. Well, it was nice talking to you.
Yeah, it was nice talking to you too.
Have a good day.
You too. I missed his name, but that was a good talk. Even knew the secret phone number, that's good. All right, so I'm supposed to start this painting here, and it's already getting close to 1 hour of the show. So I need to get my gloves on and get going here. All right. Okay. Just kind of cleaning up my mess from yesterday. Okay. Let's put some fresh paint down here. That's the end of that blue. There's a little left. Get it. Yellow. Green. Little green. Let's get some green. All right. Okay, as mentioned, I do have just sort of a pressing, quick need to jot this idea down. So let's just see if it even materializes. Let's see what we can get. So these are oil paints, and we're just going to go dark, and then we'll come in with the lights later. Okay, so let's just see if I'm going to how we do this. Here's the steering wheel. This is the seat. Another seat here. Favorite hue. Hugh Laurie. Hugh Laurie. No, I don't know if I have a favorite hue. I can't say I do at the moment. Not sure how this is going to work out, but anyway, let's try to knock it out in terms of the simplicity and get our point across. You know what I'm saying? That's what we're talking about here at Let's Paint TV. Let's Paint TV. Apparently the Secret Service agent put his arm on the steering wheel also from the description, but I could be wrong about that. This is not going to take too long. Uggs. What's up, Uggs? Huh. How am I doing? I think I'm doing fine. I've been asked, I always get asked that. I think I'm doing all right. I hope I am. I like to think I am, but you just never know. Well, we're getting close to being done here. It's coming along. Let's get a better shot. Yeah, a better shot. I don't know why I didn't do this earlier. It's almost done. All right, I think I got my point across. Maybe I need to fix this. It's just a little bit more. All right, I think that's going to be it. Oh. Wah, I want to go to the Capitol. Wah. I like that. That's a great. That could be the title of the painting. Wah, I want to go to the Capitol. Wah. Okay, I'll post that up on Instagram in a second. Give me a second. I'm gonna take that title from you. Wah. Malachi 713. Credit you on that title. Okay, I think that's going to be the show here tonight. I'm going to go ahead and I'll post that up on my Instagram and Twitter. And that's going to be the show here. We did exactly what I wanted to do, and that was to paint this image and then also just hang out and talk to you all. So we did do that. And so that's it here from the Let's Paint TV studios. We will talk to you guys maybe next week. I don't know. Maybe we'll have a dance party tomorrow. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, otherwise I'll see you soon. We'll just leave it at that. Okay. Bye-bye, everybody.